And we were joking.
Hi, I'm Samira Ghosh.
Shelly Z.
My name is Ramdas Menon.
I live in the Anderson Mill, Spicewood area.
We live in Dianala Lane.
We live in a house on the Yopon Drive in Great Hills,
where many Asian Americans call it home.
The winter storm hit Great Hills particularly hard. The rest of the city started the ordeal, I think, from Sunday onwards. But we started our ordeal from Thursday afternoon when our lights went off for the first time.
It happened to be Chinese New Year.
We're just prepared to have a big happy celebration, after a long year of COVID, right? This is the time everybody really want to kind of look forward to the new year. And all of a sudden the power went off.
And we were joking, oh, it's such a special New Year. You have to cook in the dark and serve everything with a candlelight, kind of romantic.
So when the first time it went on Thursday, I just thought that it's an experience that my kids should have.
Now kids are scared of snow. They're like, oh, we'll not have electricity.
So we noticed that the upstairs actually almost have a sub-freezing. We look at the thermometer we have is about 32 degrees.
Yeah, I stocked up my fridge, but I wasn't able to warm up anything I was eating. And the temperatures inside the apartment were plunging.
And then we lost water on Wednesday morning.
My son decided to send myself, my husband, to our friend's house.
So the question is, do you actually drive into ice, run the risk of getting stuck somewhere on the ice and regretting the decision, or you just wait for that bit extra long, that one day extra, maybe power will be back tomorrow morning?
I was feeling pretty miserable by that point in time after about 30 hours. So I managed to get onto the road, and I would say literally walked, kind of skidded my way to my friend's house.
I'm living by myself and I don't have anything in my home, no milk, no food.
Some older folks are dependent on their children who might not be living in the same neighborhood. They might not have the know how to drive in this country, or may not be able to get groceries in time. So those were an additional challenge.
My husband and I took on an effort with a lot of the Asian community to really make sure that a lot of people were getting fed food and water up here. And there were kids that were calling from around Austin saying, I have seniors and parents who live up the street from you. Can you go take them water or food? And it's scary. I mean, it's really heartbreaking.
My grandson got all the snow outside in a plastic box, and then he brought it. And then my daughter-in-law was heating that in a he was heating that, and then she was making that water.
A Chinese elderly man lived alone, and he died after 65 hours without power.
we were not considered, our lives were not considered important.
Is there a reason this particular neighborhood takes so long to get their power back? That's my biggest question.
We call it a year-round problem up here.
The last 5 years, I'm like, oh, anything, the wind is blowing, oh, we're out.
So we really are, in a way, frustrated and worried and not happy.
I think, due to the global warming, this kind of extreme weather could happen more and more frequently. So I'm hoping, this particular incident is going to really motivate all of us to do something about it, right? Otherwise, if we ignore it, I think a year later or several months later, if we run into the same situation, then shame on us.
So I really want to see translations for the Asian American population, the community up here, translation, something to help our senior communities if this ever happens again, a plan in place to help them have a safe place to go, a way to have food and water access that is better planned, and then just working with Austin Energy and the city on a real plan.
And we may never be fully prepared, but could we have done better? Definitely.
How people came out to help each other was just a great experience.